could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just vote an obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place. I wanna be first, work till it hurts. Dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot. You got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
Hey, welcome everyone, and welcome Purple Rhymes with Orange. We are finally here. Look at this.
Yep. Sorry for holding everybody up.
Oh no apologies needed. Here it's we're easy here, aren't we, group? You know, everybody in the chat. Besides razzing everybody about being assholes, they're pretty accommodating and pretty clever. Hey Tony coming in, and Sean. It's good to see you guys. Hey Juju B. You know, you got fans in there throwing your hearts in the chat and everything. They're good to see you. So
I work under the assumption that everyone is an asshole for at least 3 minutes every day.
And I own it. I tell everybody.
Some people abuse the privilege, but everyone has a couple of minutes every day.
Yeah. I think the ones abusing it, like, are the ones not even admitting that they've got asshole in them. Like, I own it. Like, definitely, when I'm being an asshole about something, I'll just tell you straight out. And I think that in every one that we find of these Reddit threads, there's usually an asshole, although sometimes it's all of them, sometimes it's just one of them, and sometimes it's just us making fun of them. To tell you the truth, it could go any way. But what do you say? You want to get down to it? You ready?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Here we go. All right. So the very first one is for those of you that don't have kids. This is still relatable because I think you'll see the issue why I might have pushed this one here. But let me read it out and then we'll get right to it. Am I the asshole for telling my friend not to invite a child to her daughter's birthday party due to her bullying mine? So I'm a 30-year-old female and my daughter is 7 years old. One of my friend's daughters has a birthday party coming up next month. Well, my friend told me about who she was inviting, and she mentioned this girl that has bullied my daughter in the past. I asked my friend if she wouldn't invite her because of this, and so my daughter would be able to go and enjoy herself. She was hesitant at first, but ultimately my friend decided that she wouldn't invite her to the party. I don't really see any issues with that, but some people I've talked to about this have said that's the wrong move. So I'm curious, how do you guys feel? This one?
No, I mean, if the adults discussed it and what the previous incidents were, it sounds reasonable.
Yeah, well, it sounds reasonable not to invite her, except I can understand the mother not wanting the daughter to have any trouble at the birthday party. But then again, it's not the mother's and the daughter's birthday party. It's somebody else's. So
Yeah, well, not a lot of information there. So the
yeah,
question is, does this kid bully other kids as well?
yeah. Well, here's the thing with adults being present, like for me, like you said, there's not enough information there. But for me, if there were going to be adults on site, I think it's a little overprotective to avoid the situation altogether. And it could have been coached into more of a learning experience that, here's the thing. If we, I try to translate this into an adult situation for me because I don't have a 7-year-old at home anymore. But I'm thinking, who are we to tell our friends who to have around if we're uncomfortable? Are we not responsible for our own comfort levels and protections? And how is it? I put it out there as this: is it a little entitled to expect everybody to fall in line because of what we're feeling? That's the question for me. But I told you it's going to be a hot mess, purple.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
but that's what I mean. That
mhm,
we know that the two adults discussed it. We don't quite know how long
mhm,
that conversation was, or what they covered.
mhm. And on
So
that, don't you think they should have talked to the other parent? If the kids are involved with bullying each other, should it not have been a three-way conversation?
that would have been nice, but I have
Mm.
found the majority of times when it involves a kid bullying another kid, the bully's parents will never believe you.
They won't, but I do think it's a responsible thing to do to give them the option to be part of the conversation, especially if they're going to be excluded because of the child's behavior. Because for me, I don't know. For me, it's about teaching the kids to get along. It's about teaching acceptable behaviors. And to me, this looks like a little bit of let's just put it under the rug because everybody's uncomfortable and not deal with it. And I don't know, with me, I'm never for that. I'm more a let's open the window, shine the light on it, let the sun in. It might be ugly, but let's deal with it so we can get rid of it, kind of thing. Um it made me uncomfortable to think that they were having this conversation about this other child, that the friend was actually just going with what the other one said because she said her child would be uncomfortable. And they didn't even involve the other person or actually, try to work out a supervised situation to where the child could do better. There's a 7-year-old being condemned and excluded without a learning lesson here. Hmm. As adults, I think we need to do better for those kids that are doing wrong. You know, I don't know. That one bothered me, and it's weird too because, like,
Yeah, I see the angle you're coming from. And
mm, yeah. So let me pull the voting up for that guy. All right, let's see if anybody has anything to say. Does anybody have anything to say about this one? Okay, let's see. We've got parents in here. Yes, let's see. Yep, but this person is a friend of the birthday kid's mom. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yep. Hey, Wrecker. And this is that could all the adults sit down before the party and get a plan? That's what I was thinking, KCG. Like maybe a supervised plan, because isn't the goal to get these kids to, actually get along together? They're going to be in school without the parents there. Okay. Um, I'm not sure if okay, never mind. It's not about the thing. I think it's going to be a bit too far to tell someone else who to invite or not invite if that uncomfortable. Yeah, you know what? I get it. If it's a serious bullying issue, I understand that, right? Like just stay out of the situation. Um, but I don't know. Something about it just made me uncomfortable to just like ask somebody to do that, you know. Beck, I agree with you. Maybe she should talk to the kid's mom instead of handling it this way. Yeah, I got uncomfortable. Like this kid is being excluded without knowing why. And I think if you're going to be doing these kind of things besides people's back, I mean, address the issue head on. Mousy says, I think I would have talked to the mom, but asking for the kid not to come was a bit too far. Talk to the parents. Bingo. The 7-year-old's being judged with no ability to actually make amends or correct the situation or be shown the proper behavior and what to do. This could have been a life lesson on, hey, listen, everybody doesn't get along, but you need to, in society, learn to stand next to the person you don't like without it becoming a whole traumatic thing. There's going to be people we don't like, don't agree with. There's going to be people we love that we have disagreements with. We need to be able to function appropriately and with consideration and respect in like all situations. Why isn't that being taught to a 7-year-old also? This is why we have so many assholes out there. This is why we have some super assholes out there, because we're hiding them from the difficult situations that need to be addressed.
Yeah, well, yeah, the best thing would have been if, the parents of all 3 kids could have talked about it
Mm-hmm.
together.
I think so too. Yeah, that's where I was going. I throw a party and I tell everyone who is invited, you do what you wish with that info.
Yeah.
Exactly, Juju. Why make you responsible for how other people's are feeling about who's at your party? Right? That's where I use the word entitled. That's kind of what I meant. When you're making other people responsible for your comfort level when they're not really going out of their way to do anything. It's like a birthday party. We have to take some accountability and responsibility, in that way. It's not to say that our friends can't help us out or we can't address the situation. Of course you can. But to expect them to eliminate a situation for you like that was a little much. I wonder if it will cause a problem for the birthday girl. It could. She's going to be known as the birthday girl that didn't invite so and so. And perhaps the birthday girl is now going to get bullied too. And there's perhaps people at the school are going to have something to say about this. This is a whole friend group. It's a bunch of 7-year-olds. They're just, we're all big adult assholes, but let me tell you, 7-year-olds, they're just a bunch of little mini assholes. Like, there's going to be problems about this. It ain't going to end there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It ain't going to stop there. Commander says there's a difference between expecting everybody to fall in line and expecting everybody to show manners. I don't need everyone to agree with me. It's nice when people have manners. Exactly. It could have been a way to show them how to deal with a slightly difficult situation. We're not going to condone the behavior of a bully, but the bully deserves the information that, yes, this is what you're doing inappropriately. This is why you're going to have some problem. And if you act up here, you're out. Like if we see anything, you're gone. Like, but we're going to give you another chance. I mean, it's a 7-year-old. It's not like it's a lifelong bully issue, like with grown adults. You know what I mean? This is a 7-year-old that could actually benefit from learning in the situation.
Yeah, I just know my experience as a parent with talking to the parents of the bully never really accomplished anything. And, a lot of times it did actually make the situation worse because then the bully kid was like, yeah, see, you can tell my parents and it won't do anything.
True. And that's the thing. I hear you on that because I've had plenty of conversations where it's just like they're not able to have the conversation. They're not receptive to it and all. Well, I think when I was actually trying to, my daughter used to ask me like that, why do you bother, Mom? They're just idiots. Like she says that to me all the time. She's a grown woman now. And she says that to me on the regular. So do some of my friends. Like, why do you bother? They're just being idiots. They're just being this. I said, you know what? Because I'm never going to couch my behavior and what I think is the right thing on their response. If I think it's the right thing to do to approach a situation or to act like the grown up and be respectful and with manners, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to keep doing it, because that's the problem is we let the wrong situation affect us in such a way we end up doing the wrong thing just to stay away from it. And I hate to see that. I hate to see people getting into that corner. I understand why, because, it can be painful. It can be uncomfortable. It can be frustrating. There's no real results, But when we act in the why bother mode, nothing ever changes. That I know for sure. That in all my years I have learned. If we decide that nothing's ever going to change, so we're not going to do anything about it, then nothing ever will. Because we're the only ones that can do anything about it. And that goes across the board with lots of stuff. Like, this is why this pissed me off. Actually, I was reading this like about a 7-year-old, and I actually got political vibes off of it. I don't know if you guys understand that about me, but sometimes it will trip a trigger like that, and that's what happened. Tony says, as a parent, I have talked about it with my daughter, then politely declined the invitation if my daughter didn't want to go because of the other child. Bingo. That's a good thing right there too. Are the children being talked to about it?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I see you, Tony. If she's going to be that uncomfortable, it's not worth putting her in the situation. But you did the one thing that I was waiting to hear them all say. I spoke with them about it. I actually opened up a conversation. I actually, approached it instead of just avoiding it. That's the answer right there, approaching it. Jujubee says the parent has become the bully. The one requesting to eliminate Peely? Yeah, she's bullying a 7-year-old, isn't she? She's bullying him back in a way. Not the
Yeah.
same way, but in a way, as an adult, she is being a bit of a bully in this situation. I agree. Mousy says she isn't going to be able to protect her daughter from everyone else's party. Exactly. That's why the conversation needs to be had. Tony's got the right idea there. Talk to the child. If she feels strong enough to deal with it, especially around her friends in a party situation, maybe she just doesn't want to judge him that way or be responsible for what's going to happen back at the school later when they find out that this other student was eliminated because of her feelings. She's the one that's going to get the blowback on it. It's really important to try to talk to her too. Bullying is not a comfortable situation at all. It's a hard thing to talk to your child about, the other child, everybody, including, like Purple said, the parents, because usually the parent of a bully, there's something going on there. There's a reason that kid's a bully. Kids don't come out, as far as I know, my personal experience and from what I know of biology, they're not born bullies. They just don't come out that way. Something's going on. My dad would have just put them in line. Yep, he would have talked to them. John, I like your vote. And hi. If my kid is getting bullied, I would have addressed it before any party. Exactly. Okay. And maybe they did. We just don't have a lot of information here. So like they didn't give us, like Purple said, they didn't tell us what happened with the school or anything like that, or whether the parents had talked.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that I don't have enough information is probably going to be my position on all of these.
You know what? That's normally what everyone says eventually, because we're trying to be like respectful and not judge the other people. But it is AmItheAsshole. You can judge them a little bit if you want. It's like it's gonna be cool. It's all meant in just like a good conversation about the situation and really no harm to actually the people. I figure if they're putting it there on Reddit, they want us all to talk about it. Shayna said she wouldn't have asked that of a neutral parent. I don't think I would have either. I would not.
No, I wouldn't have asked somebody to do that, but
there are going to be other social situations where the mom can't just get the alleged bully excluded. Her daughter can't stay sheltered forever. I agree, Mousy. And yet you want to protect your child. So I understand her instinct to do that and to look for a quick fix so everybody's just happy. Because don't you want childhoods to be happy? I get that. You don't want anything like this, make a big deal out of it. But there has to be like a better way. There had to be something, a conversation going on. Beck says, not to mention she needs to talk to the school as well. If she hasn't spoke to the mom and the principal, then I guess they just aren't meant to be friends. This is cool. Yeah, because who hasn't had a coworker who was a complete douche that you had to tolerate? Exactly. Life lessons. That's what I'm talking about here, John. Life lessons, And at a party, there should always be enough adults to monitor. Exactly. They maybe if all three of them there were monitored. If it was going to be a bully, here's something that occurred to me. Would it be appropriate? Do you guys think it would be appropriate for the person who's holding the party, for the mom that's holding the party, to ask the parent of the bully to please escort them to the party and be a chaperone because their child has a problem with several of the kids, but we want them all to learn to get along? Throw the ball in their court. Like, let's use this as a lesson. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Maybe they don't know how their kid is acting. Maybe they want their kid to get along better in school. Maybe there's a slim chance that they're the kind of parent that would actually appreciate the help in resolving the situation appropriately. Maybe, just maybe. But, I know that's a long shot because most parents are going to say, how dare you call my kid a bully? And we wouldn't go to your party if you were the last people on earth. And just wait till we tell everybody about this. Like, yeah.
I do like that idea of asking the other parent if they would help chaperone the party. Just help keep an eye on the kids so that nothing gets out of hand.
Exactly, Janae. That's what I'm speaking about. A missed opportunity for a life space intervention. Exactly. I like the Yoda too. No, but really, I think that would be appropriate. Let's put up the voting on this one. You guys all
Well,
have good. Mm,
I can see two outcomes if you could get the other parent to come, that either the kid's going to be on their best behavior when their parent is there,
mm-hmm.
or else, they're just going to do the regular stuff. But maybe if their
Mm-hmm.
parent wasn't aware of it or wasn't aware of the level it went to, maybe they
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to see it firsthand for the first time.
And you know what? Maybe the bully is there and actually has a good time and sees that he actually likes these kids and like wants to hang out and stuff. And like everybody's getting along, maybe it's a growth lesson, in appropriate behavior. Maybe the bully just needs to learn how to act in a group of kids, because usually bullies are just very insecure. They don't know what to do. So, that could help, especially if the other parent comes along. That would be good. All right, let's put this voting up. All right, for all of you, I'm going to go through the options for. It's been a while since we've done these, so they're all pretty well jokey, but some of them serious. It's a good conversation to have. But anyway, the OP is the original poster, and in this case, it would be the mom of the bullied child who asked the party giver to eliminate the bully from the party. The other party would be the one throwing the actual party. Number 3 would be everybody involved, and you can throw the bully in there too. Number 4, John's favorite, yay porn. I mean, because always a little porn makes everything okay. Number 5, Magic Mike Fund. I gave up on these. Like, I no longer want to see strippers. All right, you could all judge me later. I know that's like earth-shattering news, but um, I know, John, I was looking through for the tour, and maybe if we ever get together, I'll just go, hang out with you and we can go see. But it's not, I'm taking it off on my life mission right now because I'm like, I'm getting to that point where don't shake it at me unless I can have you. Okay? That's where I'm at. All right. Everyone in this article is an asshole. Everyone in this Reddit post was an asshole. Okay. Number 7 is whatever you want it to be, but please write what you want it to be. Number 8 is my mate Chris from Hereticals. He is always the asshole. Y'all know we get along so well, but Chris is the epitome of the assholes. He's like king of the assholes. If you see the AIT that we did or the conversations that we have, if I say black, he says white. If I say red, he says green. Well, we have great conversations about stuff, really reasonable, and I love it. Number 9, no, just no, no, no. That's for those Reddits that we read that are just like, I can't believe I just read that, and I don't even want to think about it. Number 11 is Bear needs a laser. Yes, it's springtime. Bear's going to have to do that. Number 42, Jay is the coffee hating asshole. Y'all know our friend Jay. He did True Cereal. And yes, he did come in here and do an AITA and call all us coffee lovers weirdos and assholes. And he got his own number because of it. Because he refuses to acknowledge that coffee is life. And Bear just doesn't play. Also, 69. Y'all know the rules on this channel. Don't be putting no 69 in there without your phone number or some number. That's false advertising. That's teasing. That's just, we don't play like that around here. If you're going to put it out there, put it out there. Okay.
For what it's worth, I hate coffee.
Oh, well, you can hate it, but you can't hate coffee lovers. Like, that's fine, right? Jay was like bashing us all. He even debated me on the benefit of coffee.
My late fiance said that I made really good coffee and it was a lot better than her former roommates. I had to take her word for it because I could never stand the stuff.
Yeah, some people just find it too bitter, and I agree with that. Like, but he was like, he came in here gangbusters and just tried to start a fight with everybody. Like, I think he was trying to unseat Chrissy as being the best asshole, the number one asshole that I always say, because they had a channel together. I think it was a competition thing. He was trying to get everybody to hate him more. I don't know. It was funny. And he lost big time in that debate, didn't he? Always. Don't tag a bear in. That's what I say. But anyway, put your votes in there. What would you vote there, Purple? What's your vote on this one?
I don't know. I think you I think you made a good case for it being the OP. That probably was not a great way for her to, put the other parent and the kid, kind of in the middle of the situation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they were taking the easy way out and making it somebody else's problem. It's really what I think. I'm with the OP too. Basically, I think the bully is because it's a 7-year-old. I'm not even going to say they're an asshole. They need help. They need a little bit. Uh, because I don't know how much they knew, but definitely for this one day, I'm going to do 1 and 8 and 11 and always 4, because that's always fun. Oh, but there you go. Yeah, you guys are they're kind of agreeing with us there, Purple. Yes. It looks like it's
You
gonna
mean
be
you
number
watch
1.
porn?
No, I just say yay porn. My say I don't really watch a lot of porn. I have. I can't say I've never seen anything that was pornographic. Obviously, I have. A woman of a certain age. I've been around a little bit, and it would be seriously naive of me to say that I didn't. However, am I an avid watcher? No. When I say yay porn, that's like mine. I don't kink shame. I'm like, as long as you ain't hurting anybody, anything goes. Like whatever you want, people float your
Oh
boat.
yeah.
You're responsible for your happiness. Make yourself happy, and then you're going to be making other people happy. That's how I roll on it.
Yeah.
So when we say yay porn around here, that's kind of what we mean on most of my shows. It's not like we're all on the back room like watching porn or anything on a regular basis. It's like
No, I know. I was just
yeah.
taking a little
Oh no.
poke at you.
Oh, you can absolutely. But there are people out there accusing me of that kind of stuff. That I'm
I've
just a
certainly
dirty
got
old.
nothing against porn. I mean, hell, I'd make it myself if I thought anybody would pay to see this.
Exactly. Like, what, right? Only fans and everything, whatever, I'm all for it. Like, I'm not gonna ever shame anybody on it. Well, all right. Let's see. Like, you ready for another one? Let's go. That one was
Okay.
painless. Yeah. I don't want to do another kid though. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Relationship time. And whenever we do these, it might say man and woman, but it could be anybody. You can, just relationship wise, this one is going to be one. You guys ready? Men, women, everyone in the chat. I'm a 24-year-old female. I make delicious lasagna from scratch that takes hours and lots of money to make. It's so good that friends and family ask me to make it for them for birthdays instead of getting them a gift. Last month, I decided to make it for my girlfriend, who's 23. I spent a lot of money on the ingredients and then more than half of the day making the herb infused fresh pasta dough, the ragu. When she came over, she took a couple of bites and said that she didn't understand why I spent so much time and money on it because it tasted exactly like the lasagna she would make with canned panzani bolognese sauce and boxed pasta sheets. Not similar, not kind of like, but exactly like it. My feelings were hurt a little, not gonna lie, but I understand that to each their tastes, and I just told her I'm sorry she didn't like it that much, and then kept it pushing and suggesting we watch a movie. Um, Flash forward to yesterday. Hmm. She was coming over for dinner, and I asked her what she wanted to eat, and she said lasagna. So I popped over to the store and I got panzani sauce and pasta sheets to make it because A, she said my lasagna and the quick made one tasted the exact same, so no need to spend a lot on the ingredients. And B, because even if I had wanted to make the recipe, I wouldn't have the time since it takes an entire afternoon, which is why it's a special occasions thing. So she shows up at my house, took one bite of the lasagna and spat it out and said that it tastes different. When I told her I made it how she did, she got really upset at me and said that I wasn't putting in an effort and that she was expecting to have a real meal and not something cheap. I pointed out the comments she made last time, and she rolled her eyes and said she was clearly exaggerating. So then I got upset because, like, what the heck? The situation got brought up to our mutual friends. Most have stayed out of it because two of them think I'm the asshole, because my girlfriend clearly means she wanted my special lasagna, which is why she asked for it as dinner, and that I should have let her know beforehand that I was going to make one using pre-made sauce. I think it was clear that that's what I was going to do because she literally asked for the lasagna 2 hours before coming over, which is not enough time to make the special one, even if I wanted to. So, mighty asshole. To clarify, the cheap lasagna tasted just fine. Pretty tasty, even. Just not at all comparable to the original one, in my opinion. Edit. Just wanted to say I've posted the lasagna recipe in the comments for those interested. They're very proud of their lasagna, obviously. But this one, I'm going to be quiet for this one. Purple, what do you think?
Yeah, well, just to start with, if you know somebody's really proud of something they make, I mean, even if you're not that impressed with it, you still have to be nice about it. You don't insult them to their face about it.
Uh-huh.
But,
Yeah.
if she did that and she clearly didn't appreciate the effort the first time, yeah, why bother to do it again?
Yeah, exactly. I do think that the original poster is being quite generous in not like pushing back. I mean, they got their feelings hurt, really. They spent the whole afternoon making a meal and was told like what's so big about it? It tastes just like a boxed mix. I mean, who says that to somebody? Like, even if it did not taste like over the moon fantastic, if you know somebody spent that kind of time making a meal from you, who goes out of their way to insult them that way? I mean, this is not girlfriend material. This is not the characteristics of a loved one.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
you don't really want to be in a relationship with somebody who, doesn't appreciate when you put out an effort.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then how about the friend saying, "Oh, you should have told her." Why? Because she says assholes like things and she's not considerate of the words that come out of her mouth. I should give her like enough information so that she doesn't. I mean, why should we have told her it was a box mix ahead of time? Like, why was
Yeah,
she? Yeah.
well, she told them it didn't make a difference, so
Yeah, so why does she
yeah.
feel entitled to that information? And why does she feel entitled after putting down the lasagna that they would go out of their way and spend a whole nother half a day making it for it? You didn't appreciate it the first time. And now you got the nerve to request it as if they're going to do it that way. I don't know. That's like, I don't think you can make this woman
Yeah.
happy no matter what he does,
Yeah,
what the
no.
girlfriend does. You're never going to make the other girlfriend happy. Like mm, I don't normally say this, but I'd say drop her ass. Just let her go get takeout. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
cooking for her.
it's definitely a big red flag there.
Yeah, totally. That's a and I feel bad because like obviously this person doesn't even feel like they can communicate to them that their feelings were hurt. They never even said so.
Mhm.
And that made me sad. They did, you know. You know what? The chat is like, get rid of the girlfriend. They're all like, yep, dump her, get rid of her.
Yeah, I think we
Congratulations,
already
get rid of
have a
her.
verdict on this
I
one.
think we do. I'm putting the voting up. I don't think you guys are going to have much more. There's really not much more to say. That was entitled asshole. That's got to go. That she definitely has to go. That yeah, she doesn't deserve. She doesn't deserve to have that. Let's see. Yeah. Should have bought her a banquet frozen lasagna for the cheap. Yeah, gin. Basically. You know. It says, wait. Let me see if I can get this up on the StreamYard side. That's a pretty good answer to that. I would have shown her how to make it. Where is it? Where? Get one that appreciates your cooking. Ripped out the stove and put in a fire pit. Jeez. Yep. I would have given her the raw ingredients and an oven tray and said, "There's the kitchen, you ungrateful birch." Yes, I get it. Yes, I do. Oh, God. No, you guys are true. The only lasagna that B girlfriend should have gotten was a frozen Stouffer's on a plate, not even heated up yet. Whoa, you guys are raw. But you see the entitlement, right? Yeah. Yeah, something wrong there for sure. This person really, really is going out of the way.
Actually, yeah,
Mm.
I like the idea just,
Try
just
to.
giving her all the ingredients in a tray and just
Mhm.
saying that, I told you that this takes most of a day to make it, so on 2
Mhm.
hours notice, this is what you get.
Mhm. Definitely. I think everybody is voting 2 on this one. I know mine's a big 2. She's definitely and no, Charlie, I know you're voting number 4, but I'm not even giving her any 4. Like, no. She gets no fun. She's definitely a mood killer, that girl. Yeah, 'cause like April says, I would just go buy a frozen lasagna and say, here you go. Exactly. Seems like everybody wants to hit her with a frozen lasagna. Like not even heated up. They're all in agreement. This one was an easy one. We could go on to let me see the next one I can find here. That was pretty good though. It's not hard to see the entitlement in that one. This one might be a little more strange. This is the modern age. Like this has never happened to me in my life. So number one, I want to read it, but then I actually want to know if this has been a situation that anybody and like how did they deal with it? Especially when we were all like we're all now out of the pandemic, but it wasn't that long ago that we were all kind of housebound together all over the world, right? And I think this situation may have been a thing for some people, as things started opening up. You ready, Purple?
Yep.
Am I the asshole for eating food delivered to my house? Takeout Chinese was delivered to my house. The door dasher rang the bell and drove away before I could say anything. It said Joe on the order, not me or anyone I know. I took the food inside and texted my tenant to ask if he ordered anything, and he said he didn't. So after a while, I thought DoorDash delivered to the wrong house, and I ate the food. There is a man in an RV parked on the street next to my house. Apparently, he ordered the food and sent it to my house. I didn't know his name or that he had ordered anything when it showed up. Should I give him the money for the food? I just this has never happened to me.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird situation.
I mean, if you know you didn't order all right, first of all, I don't get a lot of DoorDash. Could somebody answer me this question? I have one question. Does not the order have the phone number for DoorDash on it? Like, don't the receipts, the thing that says, Joe, this is your order. Doesn't it have the receipt for the order or for the person who, like, what company they're delivering for so that he could have checked it out?
Well, that's my thought when you were reading it was that if I thought it came to the wrong house, yeah, call DoorDash and ask them if their driver got the wrong address or something.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. Yep. Mm. Juju, are you answering me that there's no phone number on there? Is it? And she said, it happened to her and she got a quesadilla. Okay. So it just has the name. There's no phone number to the place that they're ordering from or to get in touch with DoorDash or anything like that. Wow. So there isn't really any way he could have found out. Now, he said he doesn't even know the RV guy's name or that he ordered food. Hmm. I know Janae, if he knew, he could have, but he's saying he didn't know. He or they are saying
Yeah.
they didn't know. And Beck's like, I would pay him for it, but he could have knocked on the guy's door and said, hey, I ordered some food. Exactly. He could have said, I had to use an address and the RV doesn't have one. So the food's coming here. Can you let me know? Now that would have been like awkward because you're making assumptions that this person says it's okay, but still it's better than just blaming him for eating your food when it just absentmindedly gets delivered. I mean, you're
Well,
kind of acting like the person's supposed to know. I mean, how are they supposed to know? Really?
honestly, the guy in the RV should have been watching for the driver.
Exactly. Should have been out there. Don't they message you back and forth? Like I have a friend who gets DoorDash, and they literally know the minute they pull up outside.
Yep.
They just walk outside and get it, like so that it doesn't disturb the roommates or anybody else. I mean, they literally message you like the whole time.
Yeah, well, when Sloth Girl orders it, basically she can, track him the whole time. And, she knows within 5 minutes when it's going to show up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good. You know what? I know. Juju, did you eat the quesadilla? I want to know. It's okay if you did. We're not going to shame you. Like this is something that's never happened to me, and I think this is like everybody's going to have like a different opinion about it. I do think the RV guy is mostly responsible for the problem here, but now here's this man who already ate the food, right? And now he doesn't know what to do. I don't think he's playing us because I think he knows the right thing to do here. If you ate the food, what's the right thing to do? Seriously.
Well, and at what point did he find out about the guy in the RV? I mean, how long did he wait?
I think the guy like went to him and said, "Did I get my food delivered here? I sent my food over here." I think he came too late and told him, and he had already eaten it. But it sounds like it was like a while later. Either that, or he called up DoorDash and said, "Where's my food?" And they said, "We delivered it." And then he went looking, like instead of following up. I think it's like, just dropping the ball on the RV guy's side, definitely. Yep, Juju says you can call, but they won't take the food back anyway. It would be nice though, but at least it was like supposed to go there. Maybe like the RV, maybe then he could have like checked with the RV guy. But then again, that's really a big assumption on that page, Rocket Couch has a good one, dear. He says that the RV guy should have left more explicit delivery instructions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have probably prevented the whole thing. Go to the RV. That's where we're hanging out, right? This is the street address, and there's an RV in front. Knock on that door. You couldn't add that there. And Jin is right. Just like Purple said, the guy in the RV could have been outside waiting. Nah, too much like work. I know, but hey, you didn't have to make the food or anything. They're bringing it to you. You could at least be waiting for it,
Although, to be fair, I know that a lot of times between ordering it and the stuff getting delivered, the driver doesn't necessarily get the delivery instructions you left.
True. But here's the thing. Juju said when it happened to her, she at least called the place, okay, and they let her keep the food but at least they knew that the guy didn't get the order, and then they would try to fulfill the order by either calling the person or messaging the person that placed the order to get better instructions, right? And then at least everybody done what they can, because I understand they're not going to come back and get the food. That's too much. Like they're not going to do that. And Juju says she,
Well, they can't risk taking the food after somebody else has touched it.
True. That's again, there's all kinds of regulations and everything, right? Yep.
Yeah, if it got any way contaminated, if somebody else sneezed on it, they could be held liable for spreading something.
Yep. But here's the thing. Now that they know about the food not belonging to them and they ate it, should they give him the money for the food? I think that's a double-edged sword there. There's like two parts to that. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I know the obvious thing seems to be to say that he should give him the money for it.
But then again, like Juju said, they just usually the DoorDash people just cancel out that order. They leave it there for the person to whatever, and then they got to make another order. The guy paid for it already, and what if he got his food? So two scenarios. If the man never got his food and he had to pay for it, and they're not doing anything about it, then he should pay the guy. Okay. But if it's free food, then who cares who ate it? Like no harm, no foul. RV guys got to take some responsibility for not, being out there waiting for the DoorDash guy. Like shit happens, but I don't think RV guys should be out the money if the other guy ate it. Like if they won't replace the order for RV guy, I think he does have to give him the money because after all, he's going to have to order something else. And I think and that's fair because he ate it. I think that would be the responsible thing to do. Granted, he's in a situation he didn't create himself, but everybody knows there's no free lunch, dude. Like no free lunch. Like you're going to have to pay one way or another. Yeah.
Well, there's no free lunch unless you're doing something illegal.
Yeah. True. That's it. That's what I'm saying too, Rocket Couch. I would say don't give the guy the money, but contact DoorDash and leave it in their hands. If they've got any decency, they'll refund the guy and redo his order. And that's what they should, or at least redo his order and send it to him. That's what they're supposed to do. But if he's out the money totally and getting screwed over, RV guy,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any harm in this guy throwing him a couple bucks so he can reorder his food. Really. And Janae says, really, DoorDash doesn't actually have to do anything because they delivered it to the correct address. They fulfilled their contract, did they not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the problem. RV guys got to step up and take some responsibility here for making this mess. And I guess it's up to how strongly the person who ate the Chinese food feels inconvenienced by the whole situation. Maybe he offers to split it to him and they both take responsibility. Hey, I ate it when I knew it wasn't mine, but hey, you had it delivered here and didn't tell me.
Yeah.
And then they split it. Like maybe they could do something like that. Because it would be like,
Well, for the guy living there, it is kind of weird to find out that somebody's been, living in a vehicle out on your curb.
They're true, but that's what I would. You know what? When I was reading, I always get all these questions. I never get all my questions answered when I read these. Like I'm reading it, going, "How are they? Does he know this guy? How long has he been out there on the RV living there? How do you live on the street on an RV without electric and all this other stuff? Like, and of course that's not legal. It's not an address or whatever. Does he know him? Are they friends? Do they, share a mailbox? Like, what's going on?
Well, it
Yeah.
sounds like he didn't know him at all. He didn't even know his first name.
And maybe he thinks it's like one of his tenants' friends or something like that. I don't know. Like who knows? But anyway, it's kind of weird. I agree. That was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
It's kind of like you're kind of technically it's not my property out there, but you're squatting right in front of my house and
So this one says, April says, DoorDash delivered to the wrong address when I ordered something for a friend of mine who was in need, and they just gave me my money back for the whole meal. That has been, I've seen that posted a lot, that's their policy. Like if they had anything wrong to do with it or the driver made a mistake, they'll penalize the driver, of course, but they're not going to take it out on the customer. They want people to use DoorDash.
Yeah.
So most of the time they're pretty, accommodating to the customers.
There's actually been a couple of times that, we've ordered something and we got the wrong meal. And we called them to tell them that they delivered the wrong thing. Just so that because probably the other person's going to call and say that, they switched the two orders.
Yeah.
So just to let them know that when the other person calls, they're not bullshitting them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, in every case, it's like we got to keep what they delivered and they refunded the money. So, we did get a free meal out of it. Who's going to complain about that?
I find that with the grocery deliveries too. Like if you're dealing right with the same people all the time in your shop when you're getting everything ready. Like I don't like substitutions. I want to be told about them. And if they do anything like that, they quite willingly adjust the bill. And a lot of times I don't even have to return this stuff, although I want to because I didn't want it in the first place, like the substitution. But they usually will just adjust it and hit my card and make it some kind of a deal.
I just don't do grocery deliveries because there are too many things that they can do that just are not quite right. So I got to do my own grocery shopping.
Yeah, I just can't stand being in the supermarket anymore. It's like I've had 3 orders, quizzes that were delivered at the wrong address and one that was completely incorrect. Each was refunded to me. Yep. And I know, like Chris, right? If you deal with them appropriately, hopefully they take care of it. And I agree with you, Beck. I think all my questions getting unanswered definitely because of all of the research with true crime. I just want to know. I'm too curious. I'm too curious. To me, it doesn't sound like RV Guy was a long-time fixture or homeowner would have been more knowledgeable of him. Could have just been someone parked there for the night. Exactly. So, like, how's he supposed to know? My groceries were stacked up in front of my door today and I couldn't even open them. Exactly. How are you supposed to get them in? That really bothers me because my screen door opens out and they put all of the bags right there like that. So
a screen or a storm door will always open out.
Yeah. And somebody said, does RV Guy have a YouTube channel? That would be hysterical, especially if he was on there complaining about not getting his order and somebody eating it because he sent it to the wrong house. That would kind of be funny, but it does sound like something that would happen on YouTube.
You know, he just might. There's a lot of those YouTube channels of people who, they call it stealth camping.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. I think the vote on this one is going to be pretty. I don't know. What do you think? This one's a little tough for me, especially about refunding the money. Remember, he wants to know if he's an asshole, and he wants to know whether he should return the money. That, like I said, that one's hard to answer without more information. But I think if you ate it, the food, I think you owe somebody something.
I would say that, it's you're not obligated to return the money, but
Mm-hmm.
unless you yourself are so strapped that you don't have enough for groceries,
Mm-hmm.
it's the right thing to do.
True, true. I'm definitely thinking the other party is the asshole in this case. Because here's the thing. The guy's even asking us if he should give him the money, which means he's got a conscience and he knows the situation here. He just doesn't want to be made a fool of. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I think everybody is saying 6. Like some of them are saying 6, like everybody is. RV guy should have did better. DoorDash should give RV guy his money back or redo his order, and the other guy ate it, so like it's up to him if he wants, like
Yeah.
depending on if he wants to go find out what happened with the DoorDash order, then he should give the money. See, now he knows it was the RV guy's food now, but he's not telling us the rest of the conversation about whether the guy had to pay for it or anything like that. He's saying, should I give him money? And I'm thinking the guy asked him for the money because he's not getting his order.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in that case, if the guy's asking you for it because he's not getting his order, unless he pays for it again, then if you ate it, maybe you should. Even if it was an inconvenience to you, and even if you know it's not a situation you caused for yourself, you did make the conscious choice to eat food that you knew wasn't yours. You knew something was going to happen, so maybe you should give him some money. That's all I think.
Well,
Be the right thing. Well,
I still think most of it falls on the RV guy for not intercepting the driver himself.
yeah, I think you might be right. Yes, I think most of it is there, on the original post, not on the original poster, but the other party. Yeah. Yep, he should have been on. Ashley, you're right. The RV guy should have been on the lookout for the driver. It would have solved everything.
Yep.
A strong 2, Janae. Okay, that's good. Okay. The app notifies you when it's almost there. RV guy lost. You know what, Cassandra? That's been my experience with people have been telling me. Like, you can actually see, like, some of them, they even have a map, like how close he is, where he is, down the block, a minute away. It tells you,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, well, like I said, Sloth Girl's always been able to tell, in less than 5 minutes of when he was going to show
All right.
up. So
Juju's drawing a line in the sand. I don't think he should give him any money and get off his lawn, RV guy. Like, exactly. Like, dude, stop invading my space and throwing free food at me. Get out of here. Like, I can't hear you. Okay. He should have been on the lookout for the driver. Absolutely. Yep. You're watching for the food. I am too, because I hate mistakes. I hate waiting on. And I
yeah.
hate waiting. Like, I'm very impatient. Yeah.
Well, we've often had to do that. Like there were times when we knew that the buzzer system for the building wasn't working, so that one of us had to be downstairs when the driver showed up.
Yep. Oh, basically, most of these MIT assholes. First of all, some of the stuff that people put on that Reddit, I can't even believe they put it out there. But they do. They do.
Yeah.
And a lot of it sometimes they think it's fake. Like 9 out of 10 times, I'm like, that's just a fake. And so I'll give you a warning. This one seems a little weird to me, and it could be a fake. It's another nice little quick one. If you have a bit of time, I usually only do these about an hour, but we got like another 10-15 minutes to go. If you're
Well,
okay.
we started late anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah.
All right, so let's try to get another one in. You guys are being great in the chat. I love your comments, actually. You guys are all participating. I forgot how much fun this could be. This is fun for me, actually. I like having something we could talk about on all sides. Like,
Yep.
Am I the asshole for not lying to my boyfriend about my match day? So I'm a 28-year-old male, and my boyfriend is 32. And we've been together for 4 years. Our relationship has been amazing, except for when we have special occasions or gatherings. He is really sensitive and emotional type to the point that it gets awkward and embarrassing. Match day is a day when med students find out where they will do their residency. I've been extremely stressed because I was hoping for my first choice and didn't need any extra stressors. My boyfriend asked me what time the event that my program was hosting to reveal the match day results, and I just knew he would be over the top with emotion and cause me embarrassment. So I lied and told him a time well after I would find out. Match day was Friday, and I got my first choice. My boyfriend arrived an hour before the event ended and was visibly upset with me. He went home after, and now he won't return my calls. Am I the asshole?
Why do most of these, my immediate conclusion is that these are people who should not be in a relationship together because they obviously can't communicate with each other.
You know how many times we say this, and I think, like, there's several people in the chat I've done this with. Always Createful, Jujubee, we did one, Charlie Welsh, and we always come to this conclusion. People just don't. All it is communication and respect. What's wrong with people? 9 out of 10 times, if there was a conversation. Yeah.
I ran into this a lot with my ex. My ex and I belonged to a swingers group.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like the only, at the time, presenting male, but, the only bi male or the only out bi male in the group.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I would constantly be getting emails from guys in the group saying that, they were curious, they'd like to try it with another guy, but if the wife found out, she would freak out. And at the same time, their wife would be messaging my ex saying how hot they thought it would be to see their husband with another man, but he'd freak out if they mentioned it. So it's like neither of us could tell anybody else about it, but we're both like, why can't these people talk to their own partners? Everyone would be having a lot more fun.
Exactly. And if you can't talk about your most intimate desires and fantasies with your partner, you got the wrong partner. Period. There's something not right there. Either you feel that you're not being open with, first of all, you're not being open with them. Or they have closed you off some way. I can't believe that they would actually approach somebody else without talking to their partner first about it. Oh
Well,
my
that
God.
was the thing that, these guys were wanting to cheat on their wife with me. And
Exactly,
it's like,
but
no, I don't
okay,
want to be named in somebody's divorce
okay.
proceedings.
All right. I might be a little strange here, but you're presenting male, right? And this is a
Yep.
male saying he wants to explore a male relationship. And if
Yep.
their wife is a female, okay, and they don't talk to that female about it, how do they know that she's like not going to say, I obviously do not have one of those, boo boo. So if that's
Mhm.
what you need to do to grow, you want to try that.
Yeah.
I want you happy. Let's try it. But set some parameters. Can I be there? Can I know? Can we set
Yep.
no emotional boundaries? Can we make it a physical experience? What's wrong? Am I weird? Like, I think
Well, and
I'm
especially
some
since these were all people in a swingers group. So they'd
exactly.
already had the discussion with their partners about sleeping with other people.
Listen, and your story, by the way, is voted in the chat is better than the Reddit one. Okay, so like, you go start writing my Reddit stories, purple. I was like, it is. But I agree, and Quiz, I agree. Lying is never the best thing for a relationship. Anyway,
No.
anyway, and Beck says, "Dude, get another." What did he say? He said, "Get a new boyfriend." Exactly. Find a new boyfriend. Okay, definitely, definitely. Number one, you think the operator absolutely lying for whatever. All right. First of all, you're saying I'm lying because I'm lying to them for their own good. That is never an answer about anything. Okay. No, you are lying to them for your own selfish comfort in not dealing with the situation head on. Let's just call it what it is. Chicken shit, MF. Chicken
Well,
shit.
and
Cowardly. Okay. Cowardly when you are not telling the truth to avoid a situation. You are showing a little bit of lack of integrity there, a little bit of lack of fortitude, and definitely your spine's getting a little soft. Okay. It's not good. Not good.
well, and she's saying that she's not telling him because it's such an important event.
Mm-hmm.
And again, why are you in a relationship with somebody if you're not sharing important milestones with them?
Exactly. And couldn't this, all right, you would think the end goal is not, all right, here's the thing. How do you fix a problem when you're only just putting a band-aid on it? Like, instead of addressing the fact that
Yeah.
he's saying his partner is too emotional at times and he feels awkward in situations when he gets like that, instead of having an honest, open conversation with, look, I get a little comfortable when you do this. I don't want to judge you, but why do you do this? Let's work on a situation to where you're more comfortable, I'm more comfortable, so I don't have to avoid you in certain situations. Period. Don't you want improvement in the relationship? But
Well, and also you're lying to them about something that they're going to find out you lied to them pretty
mhm.
much as soon as they show up for the thing.
Exactly. And here's the thing, that match day is important. And some of you that know that those are who are studying to be doctors, nurses, everything, match day is a very important,
Yeah.
exciting day.
I
Okay.
learned about it when Dr.
Competition.
Ben was going through
Yeah.
it.
Competition is fierce. Fierce, okay? And everybody's excited about it, and they all get to gloat or not or whatever. And you would think you'd want your partner there to bolster you up or hold you up.
Yeah.
Either way, no matter what happened. But here he is, he's saying that he's uncomfortable with how he acts around the group. And that needs to be addressed. You can't just avoid that situation. And now you're boo-boo crying because your partner ain't
Mhm.
talking to you. I'd say
Yeah.
you should be grateful he's taking a few minutes to consider how he will be talking to you when he finally does, because he's got great issue with what you just did, and rightly
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Rightly
and
so.
this does not sound like it's a one-shot deal either. There's going to be other important events, and are you going to handle it the same way next time?
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Quiz, for saying I'm not weird. Thank you. He says, Not weird at all because of what I said before about having that conversation. If you want to sleep around, your partner should at least give you the thumbs up. That's right. Because if you're
Yeah.
in a relationship, remember this, you have chosen to be in that relationship. Okay. And with that relationship comes written law. Okay. Unless you're a complete fucking dipshit asshole. And that unwritten law, okay, is respect in honesty.
Hmm.
Okay. And if you're not there with those two things, get the fuck out right now. Excuse my language, but
Well,
you're not worth it. It's not worth it. It's never going to work. Go. And I know people judge me a lot for having that standard. Like, I am fierce about that standard. You disrespect me, you're going to hear about it, because I try to approach everything. I might be loud and noisy and talk too much and everything. But if anybody says anything to me about it, I will back down. I will think, I want to be respectful to the other person I'm dealing with at all times. I am not going to eliminate their feelings. I might not be able to do anything about their feelings, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to hear. I'm not going out of my way to hurt anybody ever. But when it comes to intimate relationships, one-on-ones, and the
excuse
other
me.
thing I have is communication. Like, you got to work on communication because, you know, mm, like, I hate that being in the dark about stuff also.
Yeah.
You know, especially something like this. I think it's important to know if your partner has feelings about trying other things that they're not trying with you. How do you have a healthy emotional and physical relationship with someone when you are keeping things from them? How is it possible to feel the freedom of knowing that somebody hears you and you hear them when you're doing shit like that? It's not going to work. It's just never going to work. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I can't do monogamy. I'm just not wired for it.
Hmm.
But I make sure that, anytime a relationship is starting, the other person needs to be aware of that before things get intimate. And,
And that's the
we need
responsible thing to
guidelines
do.
for how we're going to handle this.
And that's the responsible thing to do. You know yourself, right? And you're
Yeah.
not trying to be anything else but what you are, who you are, right? And how you want to approach it, what you want to do with your life, right? And
Yeah.
that is grown up. That's what everyone should be doing,
Well, and
right?
pretty much every relationship I've had, the guidelines have been different, because any relationship is just about what the two people involved or however
Right.
many people involved agree to.
And
And
it's
what anybody
fluid.
else thinks of it doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
It's right. It's fluid and it's between the two of you, and it can be whatever you want it to be. There are no guidelines except as long as you're respectful, it's
Mm.
consensual, and you guys are all in agreement. There's no barrier there. That to me is healthy. That's how it's supposed to be. And crazy cat wants to know if there's nothing you haven't done in your life. Actually, because of your story, is there anything that you haven't done in your life? It is a good one. This Reddit. I'm glad we actually brought it up. If he's ashamed who's he's dating, then yep, I hear you. Those dots are my favorite
Yeah.
thing, Beck. Like that's how it should go. If he is ashamed of who he's dating, then dot. Well, that's something he's got to deal with, right? That isn't even the behavior of the other person. There's more of an issue here with how he's dealing with it than the fact that the other person is emotional or awkward. So what? Didn't you know that when you met them? Wouldn't you want to help them with that? Don't you want to find a reasonable way to deal with it to help them grow through it? Or are you just being a judgmental asshole and doing shit behind your partner's back and then you don't want to pay the consequence for it? Like, is he really surprised that his partner left and isn't talking to him?
Yeah.
Seriously. You know, that's like I had the situation, someone gave me an ultimatum. They said, you got to do this or we're over. And then they're shocked. They're shocked when I go, bye.
Yeah.
And when I said bye, I said bye. Like, bye. That's it. No, you
Anytime
didn't.
somebody says it's me or it's the other option before they finish the sentence.
Exactly. And then they're saying it's all my fault for walking away. Like, you threw an ultimatum.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just
how
being
is
too
that?
controlling. I'm not going to be comfortable with
Yeah,
that.
how is that? Like, okay, you put it all into play and then you blame me for choosing one of the two options that you gave me. I mean, you
Mhm.
did give me two options, didn't you? Like,
Well, yeah, but you're only supposed to acknowledge one of them.
yeah, well, like I said, that lack of respect thing, the failure
Yeah.
to communicate, with all of that, yeah, that's
Well,
really big with me. Yeah.
that's big reason why my ex is my ex is that she would set up things like that and give me options,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually was naive enough to believe that these were actually options and not that there was only one correct course that she would approve of.
Mm-hmm. No, I tell you, it's just that really that kind of one. Like, I'm glad we did that one because I think you're all in agreement with us when we're going to vote on who is the
Yeah.
asshole here. And these are the conversations I love to do because just the way people communicate with each other. Like you said, Purple, first of all, there's never enough information, you know?
Yeah. Well, in
And then,
such short clips, you're not going to get the whole story.
oh, and then also just like not having the respect and the decency that you really should. They really need to be in relationships with themselves. You're right, because they're not treating the other person with
Yeah.
the dignity that is required in the situation, not like a caring, responsible person. And I'm not saying let anybody walk all over you, but it's a two-way street. If you're not communicating and talking,
Yeah.
it's doomed to fail, unless of course that's the kind of thing you want. Like, and that's a conversation for another day. Do people just staying around and stuff like that, knowing they're being disrespected and disregarded, but they just don't want to be alone, you know? And I'd say I'd rather be alone with myself. And I know that's an easy statement to make, and it's not really. In reality, it's a painful situation for a lot of us, but when it comes to actually giving up what I think is the way I deserve to be treated, yeah. Not to say I haven't been treated like less than, because of course we all have at some time in our lives. But I've learned, it took me a long time to get there too, though. I have to say that it ain't an easy thing. Tony says, in that situation, your partner could have suggested to the wife that she shares her fantasy with her partner. It sounds as if what they both want. Exactly, Tony. In the story that
Yeah.
she said, the situation, here they are, they're not communicating, and yet they're saying the same thing. They want the same thing. Why aren't they talking
Yeah.
to
Well,
each
that was
other?
basically what we always did, is that we were just saying, have you tried talking to your partner about this? Maybe it's something they'd be into.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they're missing out. You know what? You're missing out when you're not honest with, especially the people you're intimate with, your close friends, your partner, or people you're dealing with. When you're not being honest and genuine with them, you are missing out on some really great stuff. Some really great. They can grow, they can change, and they can surprise you. They can reward you. It can be rewarding and wonderful and growth, and just not having the pressure of not worrying about hurting somebody's feelings because they find out something, that you're keeping from them, or you're not being honest, or you slip up. It can be quite freeing to be your genuine self and to
Well,
meet somebody that appreciates it.
a big reason why I'm open about everything is because it's too hard for me to keep track of what I told to who. So if I just tell
Hmm.
everybody everything, it's easier.
Hmm. And here's a question for you in the chat before we go. Uh, if you're not being your genuine self, right? You're not out there just being you and trying to be honest and trying to be forthright with people and knowing what you want, then how can you complain about nobody knowing you, nobody getting the real you? I haven't met the one that really understands me. You're not out there as you. How the fuck do you expect anybody else to recognize you? Seriously, you're setting yourself up like you are the problem. Maybe it's you. You're not being genuine. How are you going to meet somebody that really lines up when you're projecting something else? You're not being honest with them and letting them know. How do you have the opportunity to find out how well you can get along,
Mm,
how well you can mesh together? Nothing's perfect. Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Quiz says, I should try to be more open myself. Oh, Quiz, if you got any more, listen, I hear you. You just taking me off track here. You should, Quiz, because you're such a prude. I don't know how. I don't like really.
You know, kind of related to that, I've always felt that dating is about the worst way to begin a relationship
Mm-hmm.
because you spend maybe, 3 to 6 months trying to impress each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person's always disappointed when they start seeing you 24 hours a day and, finding out that, yeah, you can't maintain that level indefinitely.
That can be so true. And hmm, you know what? It reminds me of a conversation I had a while back with a friend, and it was all about bad coffee. Okay. And that bad coffee can translate into anything else. But basically, it was about in the beginning when you're dating somebody. Okay. If you're actually talking and that person sits there and the coffee is really bad, or the meal was bad, or it's not the perfect situation, and they're actually still talking to you and you guys are still going, then you know that there's some kind of connection there. You're actually hearing each other and there might be something there. That is the best way to start a relationship, whether it be a date or whatever. Like, just a cup of bad coffee, and you're willing to actually sit there and tolerate that bad coffee just to hear what the other person has to say, just to learn about them, you're on the right path. My brothers used to ask me all the time, how do you know when a girl is like interested in you, when a woman really wants to spend time with you? And I said, well, you can tell by is she listening? Is she asking you questions? Not the third degree questions like how much money you make, who do you get
Mhm.
along with your mother, and do you want kids? If a woman says that on the first date, please don't date her again. Okay, please don't. A woman or a man says that on the first date, please don't date them again, because they're on a time clock. They're not listening to you. They're checking off a list. And if that person has a list, okay, that they're going through, I do believe you should have what you want and you shouldn't settle for things that you don't. But you're not open for the challenges that a real relationship can give you. Most of our matches are not somebody that we think is perfect for them, for you. I'll tell you, most of the time I've been the happiest is being with somebody that just fell out of the sky and landed in my lap. I had no idea I would even want to talk to somebody like that or be attracted to somebody like that, or they didn't have anything. I wasn't looking for anything. But being open enough to having those conversations probably led to some of the happiest times in my life. Um, you go you know there's no checklist to who's going to be perfect for you, because I can guarantee, as much as you know about yourself and what you think you want, until you're happy, until you feel it, you got no damn idea. That person who likes the color blue when you like the color yellow might be the best thing that ever happened to you. you know it got to be open to it, but honestly open, like, and communicate how you really feel, and be really surprised at where things go.
Well, that's the thing, that you have to be able to communicate, and it has to start out with, small things like,
Hmm.
compromising on what to have for dinner.
Exactly. The couples make so many compromises automatically on a daily basis. Um, what time to set the alarm for? How often? Here's one. How often the alarm should go off before we actually get up? Like, everybody ever have a partner where you get up at the first time the alarm gets off, but they want to set it like every 15 to half hour because they don't really have to get up for like 2 hours? Like, everybody knows somebody like that or whatever. Some people, it could be two different ways, but there's always the
Yeah.
compromise. What side of the bed to sleep on? Blankets, covers, Hmm. The thermostat. Okay. Who gets the first shower? All that kind of stuff. Like
My late
simple.
fiance always had to sleep cool with a fan blowing across her. So I always wound up sleeping cocooned in a blanket so that none of the air could get to me.
Hmm. Yeah. Anna, I'm glad that's happening to you now. And Tony, I agree. Wouldn't it be nice if you're having the bad coffee, you want to talk to each other, you both have a great love for good coffee, and you go, listen, I want to talk to you, but this coffee sucks. Let's go, like, you're worth it. Let's go get some good coffee. That's a date. Like, that would be a winner in my
Yeah.
book. Like, I would go on a second date with a man who said that to me, you know, saying, I will sit here and drink this bad coffee with you just to talk to you, but I really like my coffee. Let's go find some good coffee. Like, I would appreciate that comment, actually.
Or you sometimes get that reaction like, oh, thank God, I thought you liked it. I didn't want to insult you.
Hmm. So, Rocket Couch wants to know, where is the scale in meeting your significant other in a paramilitary youth organization? I'd say the scale is wherever you sit it there, Couch. Yep. Because I don't think the actual situation matters that much, because if you're both there, you obviously have that in common.
Yeah.
But you also have to take those kind of parameters into consideration, be grown about it, and see how much the situation has to do with how you're feeling about things going on. That's all.
I
you know
have to say, if the phrase paramilitary came into the conversation, I'm probably out of the relationship at
hmm
that point.
hmm I like that idea, Verillion. He says, make an average meal on the first date. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. And then if they stay, then for the second meal, bring out all the stops and show them how good you
Yeah.
cook and how much it means to them. That's true. Because if you're out there trying to impress all the time, here's the thing. You're setting a standard that even if you're willing, you're unable to keep up with the whole time.
Yep.
If you come out there with your 5 star, they're going to be expecting your 5 star every day. I say just be you, and everybody knows we don't make 5 course meals for everybody every day. Everybody knows that our hair is not perfect, and every single day. I say, make an effort, but don't go over the top. Don't
Yeah.
set your bar so high that you yourself and them, you're feeling the pressure and they're feeling disappointed that you're not making an effort. Because eventually that's what happens when couples are together for a while. You're like, hey, you used to do this and you don't do it anymore. Hey, why aren't you making an effort? You know, but have those conversations. Say, I don't feel like you're paying the attention you used to. I realize you got stuff going on, but is there anything else? Do a check in. Say, is there anything
Well,
else going on? Like, hey, you know.
also, you're setting yourself up because, like, if you go all out on the first date and they start thinking that's the norm, then what
Mm-hmm.
happens when, like, it's their birthday? Then if you were doing something special all along, how do you make that date feel better?
Mm-hmm. True. True. Yep. Tuju, I agree with this too. You can't change the rules after the fact or make a person's response into a test. That happens way too often. With my friends, I talk to male friends, female friends, my brothers, my family. That is the number one complaint. Um, she knew who I was, and then she decided I needed to be somebody different. And when you talk to that person about it, well, they say, "Well, I always thought you would change." I'm like, "Why would you think I would change?" Like,
Exactly. That was my
you know?
problem with my ex through the entire relationship. She always thought I would change, and I told her from day one that No, I've already been like this for 15 years. It's not going to change. This is what you get.
Mm-hmm. This is true. Jujubee is a snooze 5 times gal, and I hate periwinkle. You know what? I hate is periwinkle a color? Because I really don't like it either. Like, did they make that up? Like, I think they made it up. Like, it's like a
No,
blue purple, right? Like, it's like that bluish purple color. I don't know. Not that
I
I don't like purple, because that's not what I'm
yeah,
saying. I'm just saying that they make that color up, like with the word, like it's in.
no, I know
Yeah.
it is a color, but offhand I couldn't even tell you if it's a blue or a green.
Mm-hmm. You know, Beck, I
Just
gotta
because
put this.
Sloth Girl, especially when she does the cross stitch, uses all those weird color names
Mm-hmm.
because there are like 300 different colors of embroidery for less.
Oh, I get it. I'm trying to find
You know,
this comment from Beck is perfect. Why won't this thing?
yeah, but it's like since I'm going out to the store for something, she tells me to stop in the fabric store and pick
Mm-hmm.
these up, and then it's like, yeah, unless you can give me like a code number for the color,
Mm-hmm.
forget
Right?
it. I'm going to get the wrong thing.
Exactly. Um, I can't put the comment up for some reason, Beck, because I can't like locate it. It's not showing up. Mrs. Cassandra, thank you for your comment, but it disappeared on me. And thank you for the gifts to the donor for the gift memberships. And congratulations to everybody that got them. If you're not already in the Discord, please contact me. Um, Autistic Shield, thank you for donating to the computer fund. I'm sorry there, Purple, to get that in, but if I don't get these, I forget them.
Oh
I,
no, no,
I
no, that's
do.
fine.
Um,
What
yeah.
computer fund? I didn't know you were needing a
Oh,
computer.
um, the thing on my channel, well, I have a computer. I do, but I want to do much more technical graphic type things in learn OBS and get into some more. I don't know editing software on a very well. I do lives mostly, so I don't do like videos, but I am getting into it and I'm learning. So I'm going to need like a bigger system with a video card. I ran the
Mhm.
whole first year of my channel on a Chrome laptop, period. And
Yeah.
now I have a small CPU that does have some memory, and I am able to do a little bit better, a little bit more fancier things. Um, and I like that. But on my channel, I never spent the money on anything but donations. One, I got monetized through doing something with another channel. I wasn't really, actively trying to get monetized or ever did anything. I've done this as a hobby the whole time, and I'm not trying to sound holier than now people. It's just the way I approached it. And for me, that's the way I decided I wanted to do it. So when I started making money, I donated. Every quarter we would donate it. But then I was like, well, now I need a computer, and why not put it towards that? So for 2023, anything that comes in is going towards the new computer. And then once I get the computer, I'll go back to donating all of the memberships and all of the donations that come in. We pick the members of Patreon, and the membership get to pick from several different organizations every 3 months when the YouTube money comes in, and we vote on it. And that reminds me, members, all you green people, even the new people, okay, that if you just turned green, there is a community post on the back of my channel for members only. You'll be able to see it. Please go vote for a charity. I've got 30 members and only 11 of you voted. And yes, I'm shaming you all out in public. Yes, I'm doing it because it's money for these charities I want to give to them. So help me out. I don't want to make the decision myself. I said all along it was you guys got a voice on it. So help me. Tell me what your voice is. There are 5 or 6 of them there. Please give it a vote. It takes a second. If you can't find the thread, let me know. Send me a DM. I'll give you the 5 choices and you can vote privately. But just so you know, when you vote, nobody sees your name. It's just a vote. So please just go to do it. I would appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. And Juju G Periwinkle gets you riled. God, don't start with me, girl. Don't start with me. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, I think we're all in agreement that boyfriend, the liar, is the asshole in the last one. What do you think, Purple?
Yeah, yeah. If you're not communicating honestly with your partner, the relationship doesn't have anywhere it can go.
Mm-hmm. You don't. And I think that's a good relationship advice no matter what. Yes. Yes. I'm sorry, I just got thrown away by a comment. John wants to know if Kool-Aid periwinkle is color. No, I don't think that's the color of periwinkle. That's too red. I mean, from the commercials, when he busts through the wall, the Kool-Aid man is like this vibrant reddish color to me, like a purpley red. This one is like a bluey red, I think. I
Yeah,
mean, a bluey purple.
I
Yeah.
was thinking that periwinkle was some kind of blue, but then
Yeah.
again, that also I'm kind of colorblind in the blue-green
Mhm.
shades.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. I agree with Beck here. Beck says he always starts his dates at a coffee shop because conversation and communication is probably the most important thing about starting a date. I agree with you, Beck. And I have given that advice to every man who says, "How do I even start?" And I'm like, a cup of coffee. If you don't have the money, whatever, a cup of coffee, period. You got to deal with the person straight on one from the start. I agree with you guys. It's not flowers, it's not hearts, it's not fancy deals. Women that want that aren't looking for what you're looking for.
every successful relationship I have ever had, and this is going all the way back to the early 90s, before we even had the internet,
Mhm.
started out by talking to the person through the computer. It used to be the local BBSs before then.
Mhm.
So it's like all of my relationships, it's because we were talking to each other for 3 months before we actually met in person.
Wow, you see that? And it's like communication. Now, I'm saying that's if you're looking for a serious relationship, but if you like dating just to date,
Yeah.
okay, and you want to go to concerts and you want to, I'm not saying don't go out to dinner, don't go to movies, don't go to, do that too. But I'm saying when you're looking for that connection, which is what I hear from most people talking to me, that they're no longer want that casual dating thing. They're looking for a real connection. Well, to have a real connection, you need to have real conversation. You have to have
Yeah.
real communication. And you're not going to have it at a fancy restaurant while you're all putting on airs. You're going to have it over a damn cup of coffee, bad or good. That's what you're going to do. And that's like a euphemism for just start the conversation. I don't care if it's a smoothie, an ice cream cone, something casual, a walk in the park. Walk your dogs together. Go to a bookstore. Have a conversation. Take all the extra stuff out. Deal with each other one on one with nothing else. Period.
Well, and none of mine was I ever looking for a relationship either. So, it's
Mm-hmm.
just go out there, do the things you like to do, and when you run into someone else who likes doing the same things, talk to them.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I get it. Oh, Ox, I'm sorry. He said, damn it, Bear, give us the whole day like before. I'm sorry, Ox. Those trials days are rough for me. But I tell you what, if you're gonna miss me, because we're gonna end soon, you can see me tomorrow, Thursday night at 10 o'clock. I'll be back. I'm gonna premiere Culture Conversations for an hour, a live chat for my new series. That will be the next time you see me. So I'm kind of flattered you missed me though. And you missed the chats. Those were some awesome chats. Everybody was there all day drinking coffee, watching the trial, and you get to, it's a lot. And also, like Anna, for the support for Ukraine. I'm glad that you met someone that has the same support there. I know that's how I met you also. And I think that just meeting everybody and getting connections started is like one of the best things you can do out here on YouTube. But you still have some coffee with somebody and get somebody personal in your life if that's what you think you're missing. Um, okay, Purple. Before we go, you got to answer one question.
Well, I just wanted to tag the one Aunt Jur said periwinkle rhymes with tangerine.
Yeah, it does. They want to know if periwinkle, rhymes with orange, and then Aunt Jer changed it. That's exactly what I was going to put up. It's like, it's not orange, it's tangerine. If you got to say periwinkle, you got to say tangerine.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay.
Well, the purple rhymes with orange actually was something that, when we were gaming, Sloth Girl would say that nothing rhymes with purple and nothing rhymes with orange. So by default, they must rhyme with each other.
Okay. That's good. That, you know what? I never knew why. Thank you. That curiosity satisfied. Okay. Miss Jujubee says that the best date she ever had was to eat hot dogs from a gas station. Wow. Now you like a person if you're eating. Now, see there? That's a testament. She's eating hot dogs from a gas station. but you wanted to talk to that person, and you guys were being genuine. And I got to say, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You want to just find somebody that you want to spend time with, and that the activity is less important than just the fact that you're spending time together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have to say, some of the best dates I have are somebody just asking me out on a cup of coffee and we got to talk to each other. And even if you're still talking to that person, it's some of the best time that we spend together, just being with each other, like face to face, in front of each other, talking about it, drinking a cup of coffee, having, something casual, nothing expensive, nothing, really out of the way. Just nice, just checking in with each other,
Well, for me, I
Yeah.
think a perfect first date is going to a museum because there's
Oh,
lots of stuff to look at. You'll have lots of things to discuss.
mm-hmm.
There's lots of stuff there to open conversations for you, so you don't have all that problem of the
Right. You can
awkward
talk about
silences. Yeah.
you got interests. You could talk about experiences when you saw this, or it reminds you of that, or yeah, what an opener. That's a good one. It is definitely a good one. Well, you know what? This makes me want to start a dating series, like relationship advice, but I'm not good at it. The first thing they'd say is like, Bear, you're alone. I'm like, yes, I am. But not always. Not always. I am not eh, I wouldn't say I was actually lonely anymore. I really don't feel lonely anymore at all. I feel quite happy with where things are in my life right now. But I don't think a dating thing would be a good idea. But although I would go, if somebody wants to start one, hit me up. Like, I'll be a supporter. Like, if you want to start a show, I will be right there. Because I think that kind of advice on teaching people to communicate better and be respectful for each other is always necessary. And also, it could be quite fun hearing like the problem, like, helping people with the problems. Like, there must be a Reddit out there about it. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Cassandra? Look for that Reddit. That might be a good thing for you ladies on your channel, that you guys can look at it, because some of you are married, some of you aren't. Like, that would be like a great perspective from all different perspectives kind of thing. I don't know. But on that, Purple, thanks for being here. Is it?
Oh, it was great to
Yeah.
finally be able to do this with you.
It is. And what do you got coming up on your channel? Would you like to tell them? Do you have a regular time slot that you tell them about?
Yeah, well, I do live streams every Wednesday at noon and Thursday at 10 p.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So
I
oh,
title them after whatever random holidays I find out about on the internet, but it doesn't really matter because
mhm.
most of the time we don't stay on topic for more than 5 minutes, and that's
I
just kind of whatever anybody wants to talk about.
I like that about you. You got like a different panel going all the time, and you take questions in the chat, and the conversation goes where the conversation goes, and that's always
Yep.
great. Yeah, it's quite entertaining. So, guys, I got the channel listed below for Purple, and don't forget to go check them out and have some great conversations. I hope you enjoyed AITA being back. I know I did, Purple. I'm so glad that we did this. Anyone else who is interested in coming up here and being an asshole with me at any time, just, my DMs are open. Don't forget to like, share, comment on the back of the video. Let YouTube know we're out here wanting to talk to people. That would be a good thing.
Well,
And I'm always open to your suggestions, people. Thanks for being because you guys are all pretty great in your own ways. You really are. And I enjoy my time with all of you, especially Purple today. This has been really great. I'm glad we did this. We should do it
this
again.
was fun.
We should do it again. I
Yeah.
do love being on panel with you. So this is great. So on that, I'm going to say good night. Everybody have a good time. And I hope if you have the time, I'm really excited about Thursday night. So if you can, please show up at 10 o'clock in that chat. I want to hear what you have to say about this new series. And if you don't make it and you're on replay, I mean it. I want to hear it, good or bad. Give me all of it. We can't grow if we don't communicate. So come on. I can take it. Okay. All right. On that, I'll talk to you all later. Thank you again, Purple. This has been a blast.
Oh, yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Here comes that new outro going out. Like, the music is pumped up. I hope you're all ready. Have a good one tonight.
could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next?
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.